that America is an unwavering friend to Israel, which is a great thing to try and be, but at the end of the day, I would hope that a real friend would tell me when I'm being an asshole, and definitely when I'm committing a war crime.
Oh my God.
And now this.
Oh my God, what wait the end? Hey.
That's a Jenya.
Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. Nah, it's not working, it's a bit odd. Let's go back to the black. Okay, that's much better. Oh damn, I look good.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I'm fine.
You've probably seen the previous video of Philip DeFranco, and in there I said I was going to react to John Oliver. He's been hitting the headlines because people didn't really expect him to be outwardly condemning Israel and using such harsh words. That's what I've been hearing. He was trending yesterday on Twitter, so I haven't seen it, but I'm expecting some good juicy stuff. John Oliver, he's got a show called Last Week Tonight, 8.7 million subscribers. Yeah, look at his average views, 4 million, 6 million, 4 million, 11 million, 6 million. For someone like John Oliver to make his stance clear and it's all over the media, yo, it's what I said about the Philip DeFranco thing. Yeah, when it's a non-Muslim, white-skinned, yeah, American or British, it just falls different. Yeah, it affects a different crowd. And you know what I'm saying? When they see people like me, they think something different. It's just psychology, media, brainwashing, propaganda, whatever you want to call it.
Since Monday, over 80 Palestinians have been killed and 7 Israelis in this tit-for-tat war.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack there, from the horror of the situation, which has escalated significantly since then, to the use of the phrase tit-for-tat war in a conflict where you just pointed out one side has suffered over 10 times the casualties.
Yo! Oh my God, straight from the beginning. Straight from the beginning. Yeah, this is what I've been saying. Those of you that have been watching my videos, I've been saying, yo, you cannot equate the two.
Both the severe power imbalance at play here and how that often gets obscured by how we choose to talk about it. That while some things are incredibly complex and require a great deal of context, others are just wrong.
The clear imbalance, the clear view of the people dying all over social media, statistically, it's all clear.
The planned expulsion of Palestinians who've lived in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood for generations. It's currently tied up in the Israeli court system, with the foreign ministry calling it a real estate dispute. But it's worth knowing that the UN's Commissioner for Human Rights has said that these expulsions would violate Israel's obligations under international law. So it is not hard to see why sanitized terms like evictions or property disputes rankle those who live there. The threat of eviction is accurate only in a very superficial level, in that one day you live somewhere, the next day you don't, and that change wasn't your choice. But it doesn't tell the whole story. It's like running a headline that says Matt Gaetz reaches out to Florida youth. Sure, not inaccurate, but it's missing some pretty crucial details about the exact nature of that interaction. Look, it is true.
I think that was a pedo joke. But yeah, I've spoken to, I can't remember who it was, and they said, look, words are very important. Yeah, and deciphering the words and seeing what the actual news is, that's the tricky bit, and he's smashing it in that regard.
Israel's airstrikes were not. They hit their targets, including a house in a refugee camp, a building housing the Associated Press and Al Jazeera, and this 13-story office and apartment building. And while Israel insisted that there were military targets in that building and that they destroyed it as humanely as possible, even warning people to evacuate beforehand, for the record, destroying a civilian residence sure seems like a war crime, regardless of whether you send a courtesy heads-up text. And when dozens of people have seen their homes or livelihoods destroyed,
it doesn't
proof. Really help that the Israeli military posted this triumphant meme showing the explosion and the rubble labelled before and after. Look what we did. People lived there before, and now they can't. You get it, right?
Even I didn't see this. Oh, damn. And plus, like Philip DeFranco said, there was no proof offered. He can kill anybody and say, yeah, he was a terrorist. But he was a 5-year-old kid. Yeah, he was carrying something. He didn't have any bag with him. It was invisible to the naked eye. Only we can see it. Yes. You better believe it, otherwise you're anti-Semitic.
We should probably never meme a war crime. The citizens of Gaza don't have an Iron Dome to protect them the way that the citizens of Israel do. It's one of the many ways they're at a significant disadvantage. Although an Israeli military spokesperson tried to push back on the idea that there's really much of a discrepancy there.
Somebody on Twitter said that the Palestinians don't have an Iron Dome. I say yes, they have an Iron Dome. It's called Don't Fire Rockets at Israeli Civilians, and we won't fire anything at Gaza.
What?
Yeah.
What's this Frankenstein monster-looking freak saying? Look at him. You know when you look in the mirror and then your features look a bit bent out of shape and you're like, oh, look off. This guy looks like that in real life. Imagine how he looks like when he looks in the mirror. Flipping heck, mate.
It has the significant advantage of being an actual defence system that exists, unlike Gaza's, which is mostly try not to be where the bombs are landing.
Yeah.
And it's important to note here,
Facts.
the vast majority of the Palestinians in Gaza are not part of Hamas. They don't get together and all decide to launch rockets. It's not a co-op board.
Oh, oh, damn. Thank you. It's like certain words I can't say. It's like I'm saying it through this guy.
Israel fires rockets at Gaza, it endangers all Palestinians there. Maybe somebody on Twitter could point that out to that guy. To people in Gaza, it can seem like the only time anyone pays attention to what's happening there is when Hamas is firing rockets, which is understandably very frustrating because they've been living under a suffocating blockade for 14 years. And in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories, Palestinians are essentially being governed by a form of apartheid. An assessment by both international and Israeli human rights groups.
Preach.
Life in Gaza is hard even when they are not being bombed. And the US government has implicitly co-signed on the brutally hard line Israel's been taking. This guy basically gave Israel a green light to do anything it wanted for the last 4 years. And while Biden has had the opportunity to reset that relationship, his administration's response this week has been deeply underwhelming. Giving a generic statement that Israel has a right to defend itself. It's the exact same line that Obama said and that Bush said before him. Israel has a right to defend itself is just something all presidents end up saying out loud at some point in office. It's not that Israel doesn't have the right to defend itself. It's just that line cannot be used to excuse absolutely everything. Multiple children have been killed this week, 8 in a single strike just yesterday, and the US is heavily implicated here. Not just by serving as Israel's diplomatic shield at the UN, but by constantly refusing to criticize the indefensible. There is a real tendency, particularly in America, to both sides this situation. And I'm not saying that there aren't some areas where that's warranted, but it's important to recognize there are also areas where it's simply not. Both sides are firing rockets, but one side has one of the most advanced militaries in the world. Both sides are suffering heartbreaking casualties, but one side is suffering them exponentially. And it's not like the US is operating from the moral high ground here. It's obviously no stranger to drone striking weddings and saying, we're just trying to target enemy combatants.
Oh, no, he didn't.
This country has blood on its hands too. And look, if you believe Israel's actions are warranted and proportionate this week, you're welcome to try and make that argument. But we have got to start having this conversation honestly. And if America really wants to help, it might want to seriously consider changing its long-held position here, because for decades, the backbone of America's policy in the Middle East has been that America is an unwavering friend to Israel, which is a great thing to try and be. But at the end of the day, I would hope that a real friend would tell me when I'm being an asshole, and definitely when I'm committing a war crime.
Oh my God.
And now this.
Oh my God, what at the end? What? He just dropped some bombs right at the end right there. Oh damn. He dropped some serious ones, bro. God damn. Whew. We need more John Olivers. We need more John Olivers. Are you listening? Yeah? Are you listening? Much love to him. May Allah guide him. May Allah bless him. And may Allah unite us all on this. Yes. And alleviate our Palestinian brothers and sisters from the suffering. Our Uyghur brothers and sisters. Yeah. In Kashmir, in Burma, in Yemen, wherever it may be. And may Allah have mercy on us. Yeah, let's leave it there, guys. Ooh, 2 good news stories today, I must say. I'm smashed. Let's leave it there until next time. Assalamu alaikum.